So you have to pull up to the right side of the pump, because if you bring the whole thing across and just sort of, yeah, oh yeah, that'll get in the top. No, diesel will piss out all over the place, because I did it once. You have to have that nozzle has to sit in and then just let it hang down, and you can't let it hang down if the whole pipe's coming from over the other side of the car. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Quite annoying, that. Quite annoying. You pull up and you think, oh shit, all of the ones that you fill up on the other side, they're all free. But no, 99% of the cars over here, the fillers on the driver's side, on the right hand side. So everybody's queuing up to go into those pumps. And I have to now. I don't have any choice. I can't go, oh fuck it, I'll be fine on the other side. Doesn't work.
You can't.
Well,
Doesn't
we'll
work.
go live
You
for
can't get
now and
close
then we'll
enough.
see if anyone turns up.
You can't get close enough at all.
No, because it's quite a wide. It's a wide car. It's a Mondeo estate, so it's quite wide. Yeah, and
Okay.
there was a time, if you went back, I don't know, 20, 30 years, all of the feed lines were actually on a reel. You could pull them out, and you could damn near walk across half the forecourt, and it would retract again. But they've got rid of all of them.
That's what I find is almost all of them will do. I can park either side without any problem to get the.
No, they've reduced the length of the lines. The lines used to be on a self-retracting reel. So if you was on the wrong side, you could just keep pulling it out, and no, they've all gone over here. They're gone now.
We still have those. Well, at least in ACT. I don't know what it's like in New South Wales, but the ACT one. It's actually one of the things. And I was doing a design on a service station, and I've done a couple, but a recent one was. I was only a couple of years, about 3 years ago. And the guys had changed the design so that rather than having two pumps, they only have one pump at each bay. Because you know how you usually have two pumps and one car goes in front. So they found it's easier to have one pump, and then you don't have that situation where someone's waiting behind somebody else or whatever. And they said the other design is they always make sure that you can pull up at any pump either side and fill up your vehicle. They said that's the...
Yeah, we don't. Well, there are so many handy design features that have now gone from our petrol forecourts. The other one, okay. Diesel tank on my car is quite a size. It'll take 70 litres. And if you're getting low, it takes you quite a while to fill it up. Now, you used to have a little catch on the handle so that when you pulled the handle and it was, going flat out, there was a little metal catch that you could pop.
Yeah, high flow.
So it would hold. Yeah, and then you just let go. No, they've all gone. They took them out years ago.
No, they took that out as a safety feature a while ago. Yeah, because if you can lock it in, what was happening? People would drop the hose or whatever, and then the fuel is just pumping out. So they did take those off.
Yeah, really annoying that they did that, because that was quite handy.
But that's why they took it off, is because yes, if someone dropped the pump outside of the thing, then they just pumped fuel everywhere.
That's
it. So it's not a very good. Yeah.
Oh, no.
They have also changed that, because apparently a lot of people drive off with the hose still attached to their car. So they also haven't.
And I don't know how you managed to do that. That just amazes me.
So apparently there's an auto shut off thing now that, if for whatever reason the pressure changes or whatever, it will also stop the pump as well. So that's why you get those. You ever had that where you put the pump in and if you're not holding it quite right, it just keeps cutting out?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why, because it's designed, it's pressure thing. And unfortunately, when the vapors are coming back out, it can actually stuff it up a bit.
Yeah, my old Holden wagon had that problem.
Yeah.
Blue had to go?
Yeah, Blue had to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Something you got to do. So.
You know how you tell you about the 710 problem? That used to be a computer problem where people would have problem with the DH computers. If you turn a HP upside down, it's DH.
Oh, as in not a capital, right? Not a capital D. Okay, right.
Yeah.
So you want to turn an HP computer upside down?
Well, that's what they'd say. They look at the logo because they're looking at it. It's like, particularly laptops, and they'd have their laptop around the wrong way.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, don't know what DH computer. Yes, a few of those.
How do you not know what make of computer that you've been using all this time? I mean, I know my laptop downstairs is an HP. This workstation is an HP. That bloody works thing is a Dell.
I've worked. I've done a lot of IT stuff, and that's not I have no qualms with that idea that people won't know what brand computer they are.
I suppose.
I mean, I've had people who don't know about how to turn their computer on and off.
Yeah. Has mine got a brand if I
that,
know what the motherboard and the processor is, or do I go by something else? There's no name written on it, what brand it is.
Well, there's a brand of motherboard.
Yeah, that's
but
Gigabyte.
If you go into an IT support, you tell them.
Motherboard.
Yeah, but if it's just a no-name computer, that's how I would describe it. There's a lot of no names out there, but if you actually
that's how I got it built. I picked the tower, picked the motherboard, picked the processor. Well, the processor came with it. When they put with it.
Yeah. But I always find the fun one is the people with a laptop who, they turn it on and it stops working after a day or about 12 hours. And they keep complaining about they bought this brand new laptop and it won't stop working. And the person plugs in the power and it starts up and they say, "What you put the power in? It's wireless."
I've got to change my head thing.
Yeah.
It's a number of people that think that wireless means you don't have to charge it.
Well, yeah, I suppose it would be wireless for quite some time, and then suddenly it won't.
Then it stops working.
Yeah.
And then they take it back and say the computer doesn't work anymore.
This car's faulty. Have you filled it up with petrol?
Why is my sound mucking up again? I didn't touch anything this time.
How's it mucking up?
Yeah, it's coming through 2 feeds again on its own.
Well, you probably didn't save the settings.
Well, I didn't save something.
Because if you had a crash, you may not have saved the settings from last time.
That might have been. I don't think it's ABS.
Well, what was it last time?
That's what I'm looking. I took a screenshot of the ABS.
Yeah, have a look at that.
Yeah, I'm having a look at that.
I don't think I'll run a. How many people we got? I don't think we've got many. I've got a few now. 9 people.
Yeah, they're trickling in.
Trickling in. Do you want me to do the quiz, or do we want to leave it for next time?
See how many we get in the next few minutes.
Okay.
I'd be half tempted to leave it for next time, to be honest.
There's only 3 of us in here, so.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not.
Sorry.
Definitely not ABS.
Well, 3, because obviously I won't be answering the questions.
Like I said, that's why I think you're probably better off leaving it for next time.
Yeah.
I'm going to change my battery.
It is a little bit themed. That's okay. It'll still last.
Yeah. It'll stay fresh for next week.
At least you're not alone, Zebulon. No, you're not alone. Judy Bassett, are you still there or are you over there?
No, she's here.
Yeah.
She could be over there, but she's here as well.
Yeah, she can be in 2 places at once. A very clever woman.
Oh, yeah.
Got notification for the stream. Actually, no, it's the second notification for the stream.
Yeah, which notification did they get?
Well, you got onto here, so it's got to be the notification for this one. Otherwise, you'd be trying to get onto the other one.
Yeah, pick a stream. You won't find anything on the other one. Well, he told me to change B2 in the banana, so I'll turn that one off and I'll check to see if it's actually affects.
You know what I didn't do on Toon's stream that I was going to do? I was going to bring up
Okay, I'll
bring
turn.
up my puppet of FT
Yeah, can I just
Photo
check?
Flat Earth.
I'm just checking. Yeah, okay, that did it. Yeah, I didn't
If I get it next
remember
time, I'll do
having
that.
that before.
Oh, you're only there now. Okay. At least I did find out what color Sandman van Professor Bell had.
Yeah, what colour was
Important
it?
things
He
in
said.
yellow. He had
Yeah,
a yellow one.
yeah, yeah.
I also established he had he had a mattress in the back
Yep.
with the footprints on the ceiling.
Yeah.
What the hell is a Sandman van?
Yellow. Look it up. Look it up.
You know
I
what
am.
my car is?
I
The
thought-
wagon. Do you know my car, the wagon?
Yeah.
It came in a panel van.
Oh. This is obviously an Australian thing then.
Yeah. Well, what do you
Yeah.
call a panel van like that with the 2 front doors and a big area in the back for cargo?
We don't really have
You
anything
got
like that
miniature
over
versions
here.
of that.
Yeah, but we don't.
So in the
Just look at all
se-
those images. We don't have anything as gopping as that over here.
Yeah.
so in the 70s, that was the cool
I can
Well,
see how that belongs to the 70s. Yes.
Yeah, but the panel van,
server
like the same
surfer type.
configuration of the
Yeah.
style of car, was around since the FJ. Because the FJ came out in the panel van.
Yeah, it's not quite the same as the Sandman though.
I know, but it's still a panel van.
Yeah, the Sandman was a classic. It's
And then you had the
particularly if you had
the Chrysler version, which was called oh, now you got me
rubbish.
thinking.
That's what it was called.
Yeah,
It
the
was called
Chrysler had a
It was
version.
called a knockoff.
Yeah, but they had a name.
It was.
for
It was.
theirs, but it wasn't Sandman. It was some other name.
If it wasn't a Sandman, it wasn't.
Yeah, I
anything.
know, but they tried to copy.
Oh, of course, Mad Max had one, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, because
exactly.
I just seen a link to it and I thought, oh, of course he did. He had that red thing. Yeah, that's right. I'm with you.
Stewie said a transit.
yeah, no, not a transit.
Not a not a transit van. That's something totally different and eminently more suitable and sensible.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to
And
show
bigger.
the kids out there what it looks
But
like.
you couldn't have the mattress in the back in quite the same. You had to have the carpet too. People often customize the inside, well, and the outside. Customize the inside with the plush carpet and the on the ceiling and everything.
Yeah.
A mirror ball or something.
Shag and wagon.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. If it was
If the
rocking,
vans are rocking, don't come knocking.
they come a knocking.
Oh dear.
I don't know if they can see that.
Yes,
out
I never
there,
had
can
one. Mind you, I was like not old enough at that point in time.
they?
Most of us just make do with whatever car we had, you know.
My brother you won't know what it is. My brother had a Tirana, and these Tiranas were the hot thing at the time. He actually had, I don't know if you ever heard, we have a race over here. It used to be called the Hardy Friday 1000, big race over at Bathurst.
Mhm.
And the first one, Hardy Friday 1000 was because they were only allowed to have, they had to have I think, and the name changed for different reasons, but back in the 70s, the rules were it had to be a production car. And for it to be a production car, they had to have at least 1,000 models.
Right.
Of that car. So you can't just produce one car and then say, oh, yeah, this is the product. So you actually had to sell it. So he actually had one of these 1,000 or, limited edition Tiranas. Yeah, so that's perfect Sandman with the stripes on the side. That's the classic. And that Sandman on the back. So you knew you had a proper Sandman. That one's not fitted out on the inside though.
Yeah, there's different variations of it. Oh, that one's not. That's all. Gotta have the word Sandman written on it. Yeah, like that one.
Yeah.
With the stripes up the side and those sort of wheels. I think that one's got the right wheels.
Terry, you would pull up just try and check what model my brother had. I think he had one of
HX
these.
was the Sandman.
Yeah, no, this is Tirana.
Oh, what Tirana was it? LJ or LC?
I'm just trying to work out.
GTR,
Just
was
trying to
it a
work out.
GTR?
I think it was an LX.
That was it was an SLR 5000 or an A9X?
5,000, I think. A9X, yeah.
A9X, yeah.
His was purple. It was quite a pretty car.
Mm-hmm.
He was very proud of it. He was a mechanic, so.
Yeah, I've seen a Chevy Nomad Zevlon. You're talking about the 57 Chevy era? The Nomad, the two-door one? That was more of a wagon than it wasn't a panel van.
Pull up the Tirana to show
Pull up a Tirana.
farmers. Yeah.
Well, I could just go and take the camera out and show you the one I've got outside.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Do you have an SLX? SLR?
It could be.
Yeah, but it's not at the moment though, is it? Bit different. If a fully completed one, then
Yeah, but it wouldn't be
potentially
original. It'd be a mock-up.
Yeah. Anyway, a creeper
Okay.
van
No,
would be a good
See if we
plane.
can find
Yeah.
one.
No,
I don't think
Stewie,
ever.
not that sort of Sandman. Not Enter Sandman by Metallica.
Do you want an SLR
No.
5000 or do you want the A9X? Because I can only
Yeah,
find an
see
A9X.
what you put up there.
I can't find an
They look
A9X.
similar enough. I don't think for someone who's never seen one's going to know the difference.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to know the difference.
Ever seen a Chevy Nomad? No. My first car, I actually bought as a brand new car. It's the only brand new car I've ever bought. Suzuki Swift. Oh, Verena, sorry. They were effectively, they're called Verenas, but they really were Suzuki Swifts. They're Holden Verenas, but the Suzuki Swifts underneath. They had an import deal, and they could bring them in cheap.
Alright, I've got some images here.
That was a pretty good car. I don't mind Suzuki engines. They're pretty reliable.
Two-door or
I've had a couple of
four-door?
Suzukis in my time. They two-wheel.
A two-door or four-door?
Well, the Suzuki I had was a four-door.
No, the Tirana.
Oh, the Trana, two-door. Yeah, that was really annoying when my brother would take. He hated taking us for drives because we were obviously the younger brothers. But he had a 4-point harness which ran through the back over the top, so we had to sit with our head in between the two harness straps for his harness.
Well, you got the Bassett's version there with Brockies.
Can't see it. Can't see it, Terry.
Do you want me to share?
Need to look in YouTube.
I'm looking in YouTube.
Yeah,
Oops,
you're looking in YouTube.
Oh, here we go.
There. Just check me. I'll just check me. You know what, to see how we go. Make sure it's not doing what it's not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, so that 78 series was what they had. They were pretty good.
And my temperatures are around 79. Moment.
Well, that's okay. That's
Yeah, you don't want to do too much more, but yeah.
you don't no. I mean, out of my 8 cores, the hottest I've got at the moment is 76.
Hmm.
That must be the call that's taking care of the live feed from Zoom by the looks of it.
You're not going to see one here. It looks like mine because I haven't got all the
No,
add-ons, and mine's not a two-door.
no. The Tudors are pretty
But
cool.
they did come out in my mint julep green.
I don't think we had an equivalent of that over here. Not looking at it.
No, probably not.
That's not green.
Holden is pretty much, you know, at
That's
the
not
time,
green, is it? That colour?
Australian.
That's green.
That's green, but it's their that's the variated green. That's not what they've sold. I don't think they came out in that colour.
I know, mine's mint julep. I'm sure they must have. Somebody must have bought a green one.
No, I think you might have been the only one, Terry.
No, not in a Tirana though. In a A9X. I don't know. My mum picked the green colour, so that blame her. Out of all the colours she could have picked. I mean, to keep it original. Yeah. My mum didn't even want me to paint it green again when I resprayed it. Why? It's the original colour.
Turquoise. You sprayed it turquoise.
Every time I do that, I lose that scene.
Pearlescence. You don't see many pearlescence anymore. That sort of metallic pearlescent car.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've seen one or two recently, but then we tend to get, the rarer or the odder ones around here, given where we are. But it is quite an expensive paint.
Keep losing that.
Well, are we watching Dan or are we not watching
Oh,
Dan?
we
yeah.
were. We were thinking of it.
You were?
I think we all
Go
went.
for it. Let's watch Dan. I haven't watched Dan. Let's watch Dan.
Come on.
I've just got
Let's
to
watch
fix
Dan.
up the green again. It's knocking up on me. Hang on here.
I keep clicking on the play, but it's not working.
No, well, it wouldn't.
I've lost the.
What you lost?
I've lost the scene to ABS. I'll get it back in a sec. I've just got to get. Back over there. I'll just have to put Simon on for a minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, that's not working. Put him over there.
What am I looking at?
Now I've lost me settings again.
Have you ever had moments
that's
where you
probably
feel
why.
like
I'll stop sharing for a minute.
ever had moments where you feel like a complete fucking idiot?
Yeah, sometimes.
Like when you get a new computer, right, and you unpack the keyboard and the keyboard works, but the mouse doesn't, and you just put it down to, well, it's a cheap mouse, probably doesn't work anyway, right?
Could it be that?
And so you forget about it, right? And then you finally investigate it, like right now.
Yeah.
and you pull the battery out, you look at the battery, and you realise that you haven't taken the plastic wrapping off the battery before you put it in.
Oh,
yeah. You're really silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to
in my
save.
defence,
That's a good way to
in my
save
defence,
battery.
the plastic wrapping on the battery was so tightly wrapped around it that you didn't even you hardly
Didn't see it.
realised that there was plastic wrapping on it anyway.
So wouldn't you have looked in it
Yeah.
to go first? You go, oh yeah, this battery's in it. Away you go.
Yeah, I mean, I put the battery in and out a few times, thinking that it
Yeah.
wasn't making contact.
Yeah. Yeah, I put the batteries in the right way. Yeah, they're the right batteries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What else could be wrong?
Oh dear.
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
What a lot of them do now is they just have that little slip of plastic
Yeah.
that's between the
yeah.
end of the battery and the contact inside, and that's sticking out of the case. And it's just like, just give it a tug, and it'll work.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to take it apart. You just got to yank a bit of plastic out.
They're
And then they don't last very long anyway because they were cheap, shitty batteries that they came with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course they are.
I had a similar story. We bought it from an online auction. I think it was a I can't remember what it was. Lexus engine. I can't remember exactly what it was. Toyota, and on the auction, when you buy from online auctions, you don't get to. You can start the engines. You don't actually get to drive them. So yeah, the guy started the engine. We could hear it, whatever, right? So we got a good price for it at the auction, and the guy says, "Okay, there's the keys. Go and drive it out." And I got in the car and put the keys in the ignition. All right, that's fine. Turn it, put foot in the brake. No, won't start. Went through. Well, what am I doing? What am I missing? Went through everything. Sat there for a good, I don't know, half an hour. Had to go back out and get the guy. Said, "Oh, look, I can't work out how to start it. I'm not doing right." He says, "Oh, did you take the foot brake off?" Foot brake? Yeah. Oh, it doesn't have a handbrake. It's got a foot brake. That was it.
Right.
Rather than it had a foot brake instead of handbrake. You just push the foot brake, start, fine, turned over, no problem. Off we go. So
Yeah,
almost all Toyotas over here have a foot brake apparently. So.
I've never had a Toyota, but I remember when they first brought out the Mark III Mondeo, which I've had two, and company I was at, one of the electrical engineers, he'd gone to RF Mildenhall and they wouldn't let him on the base because he couldn't open the bonnet. So he came back and said, "Come on then, Rod, you know a bit about cars. How'd you open the bonnet?" I had a look round and I said, "I can't tell you, I haven't a clue." The oval badge on the front grille swivels. Behind that is a lock that you put your key in. Well, yeah, I mean, you think, okay, car bonnet release. So you look inside the driver footwell, you look under the steering wheel, all that sort of thing. Okay, like my Mark IV now, it's over in the passenger footwell because they don't swap it around depending on which market they're selling it in. That's just where it is. So I know it's over on the passenger footwell. And we'd looked at all that, and we'd gone all over the entire car, and by then he'd phoned up the Ford dealer and found out, and I said, "No, I can't figure out how to open this bonnet." And he said, "No, the security just turned me away at the American Air Base because you have to be able to open all the doors, the bonnet, and the boot so they can inspect it." And he didn't know how to open the bonnet. You go around the front of the car, you press under the right hand side of the Ford oval badge, and it swivels to the left, and there's a bloody lock to put your key in. Clunk, releases the bonnet. It's like I would never have guessed that in a million years. I mean, obviously then I knew, and when I got a Mondeo myself, I knew how to open the bonnet, But it's just like, if you don't know, you'd never have thought to check that. Not in a million years. I mean, now if I couldn't find a bonnet release, I'd go, "Well, has it got a badge on the front? Does it swivel?"
I hired a car once for to go over. I was in Sydney or other, and first time I got to a brand new electric car. It was cool. I said, "Well, look at that." Right, got it in, turned the engine on, and said, "Oh, what am I doing wrong?" Okay, I've put the ignition in, things come on. It's not working. There's something wrong. And then it took me about 2-3 minutes to say, "It's an electric car. I can't hear the motor." You know how you get used to just being an electric car. Used to you turn the ignition on and hear the motor start so that you knew it was on. So I put my foot down the accelerator and the car moved. It was like, right, okay, new experience. Electric cars are dead silent.
Well, it's like this Mondeo being a Mark IV. It's another diesel. It doesn't have a glow plug light. Because I say I've been driving diesels for years. You get in, the first thing you do is turn the ignition on, so you let the glow plugs do their thing whilst you sort out your seatbelt and everything else. It hasn't got a glow plug light. I can just get in my car and turn the key and it'll start. But the last one, the old Mark III Mondeo, that was the same. That had glow plugs, but you didn't need them. You just got in and turned the key and it would start. Sweet as a nut every time.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't seem to have a glow plug light. I've never seen it.
How'd you go, Terry? Did you get the what's he going? Simon Dan? Hello? Terry, are you there?
We've still got a stream.
Still got a stream?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Terry,
Yeah, I was just muted on
did you
my
get
end.
the Simon Dan going?
Yeah, it's all up
Did you
and
get
ready to
Simon?
go.
Okay, cool.
Press play.
Not up in this.
Press play.
Push play. Perfect.
Okay.
We're just filling in time.
Okay,
Perfect.
I'll press play. Are the
that we can
temperatures
see it
still
here.
in the green? Yeah, 70, 77. Average 77. So share. I'll keep an eye on the
That's the one.
temperatures.
Okay.
Okay.
Press play.
Now, I know I said on Boxing Day that we would be looking at someone today who is giving us an Astronomy 101 lesson, but since then I have found something which requires my immediate attention. A video from someone who claims to have debunked the entirety of evolution in just 6 minutes. Hello everyone and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan and Zeus. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, people that try to debunk evolution usually just don't understand evolution fully. Well, a YouTuber called just Kyle thinks that he has debunked evolution in just 6 minutes. Now, does he fully understand it? Let's find out.
Evolution is stupid, and I'm tired of acting like it's not. It's not scientific, and the only reason anyone believes something so ridiculous is because they are indoctrinated from the time they are born, in movies, in TV shows, in school. And all it takes is some basic level questions to debunk this crazy fairy tale.
I don't remember there being any movies or TV shows around in 1859 when Darwin released On the Origin of Species. Of course, since then, the reams of evidence to support his theory is unquestionable.
For example, how did the first eye develop? They say, oh, this is easy, we've done this so many times. This is probably what happened. Wait, what probably happened? Science about what actually happened. It's about what is empirically verifiable, what is observable, what is repeatable. Yet, you have to assume evolution to come up with this explanation about how the eye could have developed.
Well, actually, the fossil record shows us quite clearly that the first eyes appeared around 540 million years ago with the trilobites. There's real, actual evidence. And then a few million years later, eyes were everywhere, spurred on by the instinct to survive, that clear advantage of vision that the trilobite predators had. Now, Darwin himself, of course, realised how absurd it seemed for eyes to evolve. But you can quite clearly see how with small, gradual steps. Light-sensitive cells, then light-sensitive cells all clustered together. Then having that collection of light-sensitive cells to form in a little depression, etc., etc., etc.
Probable explanations is not science. We are talking about what actually happened, what we can go and repeat and do, and what we have seen. Yet you come up with these crazy fantasies about how an eye could have developed, but you have to assume evolution to believe in that. The science man did not see the eye develop and say, oh, this is the science, this is what happened, this is empirically verifiable. They assume evolution is true, therefore, oh, it can give an explanation for everything. It's a evolution of the gaps. If there's any gap in the worldview, oh, well, random chance, natural selection, it can explain it. It's like God of the gaps, except which is a terrible argument.
It is a terrible argument, but it's not what evolutionists do. If there is a gap in our understanding, then it remains a gap until suitable proof has been found. Yes, theories do fill those gaps until better theories come along, but we won't claim anything's definitive until the proper evidence has been discovered.
Yet they are committed to this, and you can see because they will make everything fit their grand narrative. Even if you grant them that somehow an eye could develop, how do you get two eyes that are nearly identical? I mean, the mathematical improbability of this, but then to get it twice? This is so ridiculous.
Well, there was only one eye to begin with, but then the vertebrates came along and seemed to have success with the bifurcation of the nervous system. Now, this meant that the two sides of the body could be controlled independently. After that, it was only a matter of time before two eyes were better than one. It helps with width of view and depth perception, two massive advantages if you're hunting prey or trying to avoid capture.
The easiest way to demonstrate this is to bring up the complexity of DNA. And because they assume evolution is true, they will come up with literal fairy tales like primordial soup as the origins of DNA. Or some of them will even believe in aliens.
Yes, it is true that we are not 100% sure where or how DNA came to be. But there is no doubt that it had to have happened once proteins existed. There are a few theories, of course, but as I said earlier, none will be confirmed until the proper evidence has been found.
So they will literally believe anything except the historical narrative, the biblical narrative.
Oh, here we go. Why would we believe something that there is no empirical evidence for? Something which you've been harping on about for the entirety of the beginning of this video.
Really? Because obviously a primordial soup to explain something as complex as DNA just makes so much sense. Again, we've never seen this, just like we haven't seen monkey into man. We haven't seen the eye develop. We haven't seen DNA come to be in a primordial soup. They are committed to evolution. They can't answer any of that. They can't answer junk DNA. And the more and more questions you ask them, you're going to realize how committed they are to evolution of the gaps.
What do you mean we can't answer junk DNA? Junk DNA or non-coding DNA isn't really an issue. We've recently discovered that this junk DNA actually does do something. In fact, over 30 scientific papers now show that it's vital for gene controlling activities. But before we knew that, it was a major problem for the creationists. I mean, why would you create something with junk DNA?
You're going to realize they really don't know anything. Yet they are committed and they get mad at me when I don't take it as the gospel of truth that I'm a monkey man.
Look, I'm not going to get mad at you, but I'm afraid to say that you are a monkey man, whether you like it or not. Well, an ape man. I mean, this just proves nothing, does it?
And they are perfectly fine with indoctrinating young, impressionable kids in the entire world to believe their made-up mythology. And if you disagree with them, you're a heretic against scientism. And they will discredit anyone as pseudoscience if you don't agree with their made-up mythology. They have their dogmas, and Darwinism is their grandest of dogmas. They have their own creed. Scientism is a cult. So if someone says to you, you don't believe in evolution? You don't believe that you're a monkey? Say, yeah, I don't believe in made-up Hindu fairy tales.
I mean, that's a bit rich, isn't it? You don't believe in made-up fairy tales, but the first woman was definitely created by the first man's rib. Oh yeah, 100%. What's that? What's the evidence? Oh, it was written down in this book that I've been reading. Yes, it's a book, just like On the Origin of Species is. What's your point? Oh, well, the stuff in that book, On the Origin of Species, is nonsense, but my book's correct, though.
You should grow up. I mean, I used to believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, but then you get rid of these superstitious beliefs like primordial soup and aliens and evolution and monkey man. It's the same thing. And if someone says to you, but you don't believe like carbon dating and like the light in physics says the world's like 1 billion, 4 billion years old, you don't believe that? Say, well, all these methods, all these things that we use to date the Earth have only been studied really for like the last 100 years. So to take 100 or even like 1,000 years of data and trends and to assume that these principles have functioned in the exact same way for millions and billions of years is incredibly irresponsible. It's unscientific.
Well, actually, it's not. Carbon dating, whilst it can't date in the millions of years era, it is still very useful. And of course, the 50,000 years that it can date up to is still vastly longer than the age of the Earth according to young Earth creationists. Uranium-lead dating, though, for example, can go all the way back to day dot. And the radioactive decay of atoms is something that you simply cannot argue with, I'm afraid.
You are extrapolating the data like way further than what is justified. To take 100 years of information and say that these principles have remained exactly constant for millions and billions of years is completely crazy. It is not scientific, and no one should believe in ancient Earth or that we evolved from monkeys. It's completely crazy.
The longer this video has gone on, the more fantastical your reasoning has become. And you appear to be getting more triggered as well. I put it to you that you get angry with people for accepting that evolution is a thing and that the Earth is over 4 billion years old. And actually you debunk yourself in your own video. That lovely little bonsai tree there just over your right shoulder, for example, no doubt a Chinese elm. Now, the elm tree is part of a family of trees that evolved around 110 million years ago, proven by molecular dating and diversification analysis. You really don't have a leg to stand on.
Please share this video with anyone who's still stuck in that Darwinist scientism cult and they're giving into these superstitious belief. You know, they're a Darwinist believers. They have their Darwinist faith. We have our Christian science. We use reason and logic. They are completely operating on just crazy made up fairy tales.
Reason and logic. I can give you a list of things as long as my arm that are not logical in the Bible.
Become an evangelist for young Earth creationism. This ancient Earth evolutionary fairy tale needs to be debunked. And people wake up to this. If the government and all this, you know, the big powerful people in the world can lie about this, then what else are they lying about?
Well, yes, that's a topic for another video, but I don't seem to recall the governments of the world being too bothered about evolution. I could be wrong though. Well, that's it. Another Tinfoil Tuesday, all done and dusted for another week. Thank you so much for watching. It truly is appreciated. If you enjoyed it today, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting the like button too. If you want to see more of this Kyle and his evolution debunking, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to do that too. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great week and I'll see you all on Friday for a Flat Earth challenge. See you then.
Oh. That sounds Flat Earth challenge.
They are so annoying, even to Christian organisations.
Flat Earth challenge. That sounds interesting, eh?
The question is,
It'd be pants.
what happened with because they all say that Noah existed and that all the animals were on Noah, and that was about 3,000 years ago. And their answer is that, and not in their words, that since then all the creatures have evolved into what they are today. So rather than evolution taking millions of years, evolution takes 1,000 years. So they're just full of crap. The Kenthoven type of guy.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
And the frustrating thing is that Answers in Genesis started in Queensland, and they moved out of Queensland, went over to the US. But yes, I knew some people that followed them when they first started up in Queensland, and they showed me some sort of stuff, and I took it and read it and pointed out all these lies and deceptions that were in the thing, and they said, "Oh no, that's not it." It says, "Look, if you're in a Christian organization and they accept lies as being acceptable, it's not a Christian organization. It's a con."
we've stretched this one back to about an hour. And where are we at? Oh, I've got 12 people that have hung out.
Yeah, come back.
Farm, have you still got your hardware monitor floating around?
Yeah, let me just open it back up again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was reading the temperatures while I was sharing and everything. I got up to
Yeah.
80, 81 or something, I think it was nearly. It's dropping down again now a little bit here and there on different cores. But I wanted to
it's doing less work now, isn't it?
I wanted to compare CPU package power. It says power's underneath it. Is that anything to go by? Or the load? Any of those two sections to compare?
I think your most important area is just the temperatures.
Just the temperatures, okay. Because I thought
so. Yeah,
electricity flow would also have something to do with the
well,
It's more the resultant than how it got there.
Yeah.
Because the CPU package went from, it's down to 35 watt now. It was up to 53 watt at one point. Balls were at 27 up to 41. In that area. Bus speeds, they haven't changed from minimal to maximums. They've been pretty steady.
No, I don't think the bus would change. Shouldn't do.
Yeah.
The motherboard itself seems to have its own settings, but it's got fan 1 and 2, so it might be the case fan for 3.
Yeah, it'd be case.
Number 1 fan might be should be the CPU fan.
No.
Because it's registering fan speed.
Yeah, I thought the CPU fan should actually say CPU fan.
Yeah, that's what it does. It does say in the CPU it does have a fan speed.
Yeah. So your other two fans are your case fans.
I've only got one case fan.
Yeah.
Even though there's two readings here for fans. Fan 1, number 1, and fan number 3.
And do they both have actual values?
Yeah.
Are you sure you've only got one case fan? You don't have one at the front?
I don't think I do. I don't think there is one at the front.
Okay. Are the fan readings identical?
No. Number 1 and number 3 fan speeds are different. I'll see if I'll compare it to the CPU. Okay, 264, 2600 and a bit. Okay, 2600 and a bit. We'll just go with that first.
Yeah, Colon's advising a couple more case cooling fans on the input side to force positive pressure into your case. And yes, it is a PC. It is a desktop.
Yeah.
My monitors are quite cool.
You enjoying your monitor, Paul? She's doing still good?
Oh, absolutely. I've got 2 of them now.
He enjoyed it so much he bought another one.
Yeah,
another one.
Yeah.
At this rate, we'll have 4 by the end of February.
No.
You could have a 360 monitor situation.
I thought it did say fan speed for the open hardware monitor.
Well, it
in my
doesn't say
Intel
CPU.
Core i7 section where the CPU is, clocks, temperatures, load, powers, package cores, graphics.
Well, if there's no fan speed in there, then yes, definitely one of those is a fan. It's the CPU fan.
One up the top. Number
No,
one.
I'm just saying if you don't have a fan, in your CPU section, then yes, your other one of those is the CPU
Number
fan.
one. Yeah, the number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Probably.
say number one. Yes. And it's got the temperatures. It's got 3 different temperatures for the motherboard.
Look, I can
They're
got
not-
turtle on his side.
Temperature number 3's at 85 maximum. So I don't know what section of the motherboard that's reading.
That's the colon.
Go on.
What's he saying?
27 Iyama monitors, which is what I've got, 27-inch away cooler than your 24s. Well, A, the 24s came with the PC and they were really rather cheap. And B, I'm not entirely sure I've got room for 27s. So I don't care. Given that I've now got my third screen, i.e. my works laptop, to the right-hand side. Oh, and my fourth screen. There you go. Two pairs of keyboards and mouses as well.
Well, I think we might
A pair.
Well, it quits. I'm thinking I might have to head off anyway. So if you want to
Yeah,
call
it's getting a bit late for me
that's what
too.
that's what I was implying. Before we
That's fair.
get booted.
What your PC says enough.
Yeah.
enough.
All right. Colin's saying more fans to cool the tower on the input side to force positive pressure in your case. By the way, only viable if you're on a desktop. Yeah, I'm on a desktop.
Yes.
Well, I'll do the paste thing tomorrow. I'll go and buy some of that
Right.
and redo the
Here we
paste
go.
on there. Because if they're fiddled with that and I pull it off and I find it's all dry and hard and everything.
Well, they may not have filled with, but it may have separated from the heatsink may have separated from the CPU. You can, if it gets bumped or dropped or whatever, you can actually have the. It shouldn't, and it's not very common, but you can actually have the heatsink separate from the CPU.
Right.
Generally, it's usually not a problem, but you know, as I said, for a few bucks to try it, it's not going to hurt.
Yeah. But run a mock stream again with Zoom, doing a private stream to my channel.
It's a good
just to check it again.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity when you take the heatsink off and the fan to just unscrew the two and make sure all the dust and stuff's out of your CPU, out of your heatsink, and
Well, I may as well clean
up.
that unit when I take it off anyway.
Yeah, just make sure that it's optimal,
No dust.
and then and then just put it back on.
Yeah.
Make sure you clean off the old heatsink paste too. So
Yeah, it should just wipe off if it's gone hard.
yeah, should do. Even if it's new, it still just wipes off. Just clean off.
Yeah.
Well, after all these years, you'd think
Don't choose detergent.
Pardon?
Just wipe it off. Don't use any detergent.
Oh no.
Oh.
It's set up in intercooler and a turbo. What make is your CPU? Intel. i7. If it's a 3770, I think that's what it said here. Where is it? 3770. I don't know what generation that is because we're up to 12th gen now in i7. Oh no, or is that i9?
No, well, i9s are fairly new, so you're 12.
Yeah, I know
generation
i7's up.
yeah.
They're up to I've got it written down somewhere. Where'd I put it? Put it in me, in me other, I think. Is that where I put that? Is that in computers? Oh yeah, in computers. An i7 at 12,700, whatever that means.
Well, if you want to know what you've got, just
No, this
you
is
don't
what
need
I'm.
to write it
This
down.
is
But
one
if
I
you-
could have bought. I mean, this is one I can buy when I upgrade. It's an i7 12,700 CPU, or the i9's a 12,900F CPU.
yeah, well, they vary. That's about
Yeah.
15 billion variations. No, I was going to say, so do you know which generation the one you've got is?
I wouldn't have a clue. I just know what number it is.
Okay. If you type in, if you go down to start and go get system information, just type system.
What, down in the bottom
System
here?
information. Yeah,
Just type
system
in system
information.
information.
Yeah, it should start to come up when you start typing in the search. And you click on that, it'll tell you all your, and it should be about a processor.
Yeah, system information, yeah.
Yeah. So on that, your system summary should come up as a default. I'll tell you what your operating
Yeah, I'm
system
reading
is,
down.
what build version, and then about partway down you should see processor.
Processor, Intel Core i7 3770 CPU, 3.4 gigahertz. That's all it says.
Yeah, so which model was it after i7?
3770.
Okay.
3.4 gigahertz.
Yeah, and does it say megahertz after that at all?
3901 megahertz.
Okay, and then it says how many cores?
4 core
4 core?
and 8 logical processor.
8 logical processors, yeah. Doesn't say the generation at the front of the i7?
No, it just says Intel R for registered and Core trademark.
Okay. So it's not a
That's all it
ninth,
says.
because they started putting the number, so I'm not sure exactly what they stopped when they started it, but I thought it was like 10th or 9th. It would actually say 9th generation or 10th generation or 11th generation. Like mine.
It might be back
mine's
before they
11th
started
generation.
saying that.
Yeah, so that just ages it to a little while back. Other than that, the processor's fine, so I wouldn't have a problem with the processor.
Yeah. Well, anyway, well, thanks Peanuts for hanging out for again and putting up with this computer crashing on me all the time. Yeah, Jeranism, Colin, Demon Orb, Dart, Stewie, Jeranism, Stewie, Judy, Thurston the second. All the regulars. That's as far as back I can go for this lot.
It's Zebulon, yeah.
Okay then, guys.
Just,
Well, thanks Timbo, thanks Farmer, thanks John Kerr, and
Yeah,
Blue was
welcome.
here earlier. TT guy dropped in, but he didn't have a lot to say. And
No.
poor Space Matt
yeah.
had a meltdown, and then he
He
had
did.
to leave anyway. But we don't know if the two were related or not. Oh, we'll try to see you again on Saturday night then, the last stream of the year. See how we go.
Yes, it will be.
Okay then. Oh, good night, panel. Good night, Peanuts.
Not
Okay.
peanuts.
No.
That's